What's going on, everyone? Gilman with Wellthy Stocks, back with another video today, taking a look at Boeing Stock, ticker symbol BA, where we take a look at how the stock's been trading. We'll take a look at levels of support and resistance that we have coming up. We'll also take a look at some key pieces of news that came out and what that could mean for the stock. So real quick, if you enjoy videos like this, don't forget to hit that like button down below, subscribe to my channel if you are new, and comment down below what your thoughts on Boeing are, and I'd love to chat with you guys down there. So let me hit record and we will get right into it. So as I said, Boeing is up $14.73 on the day, which is about 6.39%. It's up another $1.70 in the after hours, which is great move for the stock. So as you can see, pretty much from back in early February, when we've seen a lot of tech sell off, we've seen growth stock sell off. What we've seen is a rotation into previously depressed stocks. What does that mean? Well, when the coronavirus pandemic hit, a lot of stocks took a decent hit. You talk, airlines, you talk cruisers, you talk Boeing, you talk anything that would be impacted by the coronavirus. And as a result, on the other side, we saw tech stocks rise, right? As people are more at home, they're, spending more time on their computers, on their phones. Tech stocks rise because the spending and the amount of money that they were able to bring in during the pandemic also went up. But recently, with the rollout of the vaccines, and specifically for a couple things that are going on with Boeing, right? We're seeing, airlines go up, cruises go up, and Boeing, we'll take a look at why that's going up as well, right? So part of it again has to do with, look, we're all getting vaccinated, or a lot of people are getting vaccinated, and with more vaccines, people can travel more, they can go on more vacations with cruises. In Boeing's case, right, they can get more orders, things of that nature. So money is starting to flow back into Boeing, which makes it really exciting. So let's take a look here at what some news were. So the first piece of news that we have is that, actually, let's take a look here. So first things first is that Southwest is going to begin flying the 737 MAX. So as you guys remember, about 2 years or so ago, we got some news that the Boeing 737 MAX, after 2 crashes, was not going to be able to fly. All airlines were told to remove, I don't know if it was 2 years ago or last year. It might have been last year. But anyway, it was banned, and for a long time you cannot fly the 737 MAX because they had to go through kind of a security protocol, and the FAA had to go ahead and kind of mark it as safe enough to use, and Boeing had to kind of prove that their system was doing all right? So not anything new there, but what we are seeing now is they're starting to fly the 737 MAX again, which is great news for Southwest, because before these were just grounded jets, but also for Boeing because as companies start using it, consumer confidence goes up, people can start trusting in Boeing again. So they're starting this Thursday 10 737 to the schedule, which are going to make 44 flights to 15 cities. And they're planning on a wider expansion starting in April. Now, I understand that this is the last major U.S. airline to resume 737 MAX jets after the fleet was grounded in March 2019. So it was 2 years ago. Okay. Yeah, so that's what we're seeing, you guys. We are seeing Southwest, again, not the first, right? I'm not saying that this is the first. It's slowly kind of getting into circulation, but this marks the last major U.S. airline, which is a big deal, and now there's no holdout. On the other side of that, this is, again, speculation here. We don't know for sure, but they are closing a deal with Southwest to sell dozens of 737 MAX 7 jets to Southwest Airlines, which is great. And the proposed deal, which one of the sources said could potentially top 100 firm orders plus significant options, is great news for Boeing, as it's seen a year of declining orders or no new orders, as well as tons of cancellations due to the coronavirus pandemic. So all that said, what does that mean for the Boeing stock? As you can see, if we take a 1-year chart, let me get rid of the indicators as well once the 1-year chart loads, and we'll see what I'm talking about here, right? So let me zoom out here. Okay, here we go. So as you see, over here in February, the stock was already not doing too hot, right? We had seen all that 737 MAX come out, which is one of their bigger kind of sellers, if you will, right? Because it's a relatively small plane, and it's what they use. It competes with the Airbus A200 series. But as you could see, even from back in 2019 when it was grounded, it took the stock from kind of trading in the 400s all the way to, you know, in the mid 300s. So it's already down about $100 over the year. And then the coronavirus pandemic actually took it all the way down to $89 and the low 100s. I actually picked some shares up here in the low 100s that I've been holding. It's not a big part of my portfolio. And then as we saw, right, that huge spike that happened in June with some of the travel stocks, then it kind of died down. And then recently what we've seen over the past couple of months is that we are starting to pick back up, especially, you know, in the month of February, again, for two reasons. As we're getting more money flowing out of big tech and out of these companies that had really ran up during the coronavirus pandemic, well, not the coronavirus pandemic, but also these last few months, right? Some growth names were up 100-200%. We're seeing money flowing out of that and into kind of airlines, cruises, Boeing, and things that had been previously depressed. So what does that mean? Well, we, as of today, are now right at the high point of, you know, that we reached about 2 months ago at 244. I'm going to draw a line right there, which we broke above today. So what I'm personally hoping for is I've actually got a short-term call, which I typically don't do, going out a couple weeks. It's a 250 call. Would not recommend necessarily copying me on that because I am up, you know, a little bit because I bought earlier today and it's up about 7% on the day. But I do think that this momentum continues. We've got a little bit of support down here at 244. We've got some more support down here at 240. My only kind of risk factor right now would be a pullback to the AEMA as we've seen it kind of hang out around, and that is at 228. So I do think it's a little bit extended right now. If you're looking to build out a position in Boeing, would highly recommend dollar cost averaging in. Over time, you know, you will see pullbacks, you will see opportunities to add. So don't necessarily just have FOMO and build. I personally think that, you know, in the next couple of days, we could easily hit 250. That's kind of my goal for the options play that I have. And I'm also looking to add to my shares position. Like I mentioned, I had a couple shares in the low kind of 130s when it was down here. Only like a handful though, not a crazy amount in my portfolio. But now that, you know, we're getting closer to a reopening, what I'm looking at is, you know, here's the downside, right? The downside is pulling back to 228. But the upside that we see is, look, even if it gets back to the coronavirus levels, right? The pre-coronavirus levels, we're talking a push up to, you know, the 300s, which I'm not even saying, you know, 350. I'm saying 300. That implies about a 20-something% upside. And if we go 350, which is where it was right there, that implies a 42% upside. And if we talk kind of where it was back in before the whole 737 MAX, that's an 82% upside. So 20% upside if we talk about pre-pandemic levels. Or excuse me, if we talk, you know, 300, if we talk pre-pandemic levels, 41% upside. If we talk pre-737 MAX, we're talking an 80% upside. I don't necessarily think it gets there tomorrow, right? Just because companies are starting to buy 737 MAXs, just because they're starting to fly again, just because we think that the vaccines are going to work and people are going to start traveling again. I don't think it goes back to the 300s like that, right? It could, definitely could. But I think it'll take some time as people start to slowly travel, as airlines start to slowly build back up their revenue, get back to the profit zone, start buying new airplanes. I definitely think that Boeing will be a great recovery play that will pay off in kind of the near term, hopefully with a short push, but in the long term, because it has a long ways to go, in my opinion. Obviously, you know, they put on a lot of debt. They've got a lot of issues to take care of. So that's kind of the downside to that. Would highly recommend dollar cost averaging in. I've got a short-term options play that I'm looking for a push up to the 250s. Hopefully even this week, right, if we see some continued momentum today. or excuse me, not today, tomorrow and Friday. But other than that, hoping to add some shares of Boeing as we continue to, reopen, start to push up, and people start to travel again. So that's all I had for you guys today. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to drop a like, subscribe to my channel, comment down below what your thoughts on Boeing are, and I'd love to chat with you guys down there. Let's remember to be a bit better every single day, and until next time.